slowly until you get a nice, can you guys see that? Nice creamy, velvety
Yeah.
consistency. Okay. This is blue because it's Kaleidacolors and it's got blue toners in it. Most lighteners that are blue or violet, they actually tone more, which means they cut more yellow than the white ones. But not always. There is white lighteners that do just as well. It just depends on the brand. Okay, so here I have at my workstation all my stuff set up here, nice and neat. I always have a towel to wipe my hands, my foil, an extra brush in case I need to clean something if I have a mistake, because mistakes do happen even if you're doing this a long time. Now I'm going to start out with my client. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is a weave. Now we did this the other day, and you guys let me know if you can see clearly what I'm doing. I'm going to take out about a 1/4 inch section, and I'm going to take this one diagonal, because this lady said to me, oh, you know what, Maria, I constantly wear my hair up, and I can't stand when I put my hair up back here that it's all dark. Does that make sense? Did any of you, that happen to any of you? You're like, it's dark in the back. She wants to make sure she has highlights at her hairline. So when we pull her hair up, you can see nice baby lights back there. Now, for this type of thing, I would always do a very gentle weave. So I don't know if you guys could see that. I'm going like this with the comb, weaving out the hair so it's very fine. That way, when she pulls her hair up, that highlight is gonna look amazing in there. You would never wanna do a slice, which is a straight highlight, because it would look stripy and tacky, okay? So this is more of a baby light. I get my foil, wrap this in, tuck it down. Now there's other ways to do this. This is not the only way I'm showing you. This is not stapboard material, this is creative material for the real world. Then you're gonna take your lightener, wipe the one side so it's not dripping. You see the consistency? And we're gonna paint this on here. As close to the root as you can get, but not too close. You can hold it there, or you can put your hand underneath and cover up all those ends. Okay, once we do that, we fold this up evenly. You can use your comb to package it up, or you can just use your fingers, whatever is more comfortable for you. And don't squeeze this too much, because then the lightener could swell up and ooze out. Cheaper lighteners swell with body heat. If this was a regular client who had body heat, this could actually start swelling out and then make leakage. So we're gonna move up and do another. I'm gonna do one more diagonally down here for her baby light. The difference between a highlight and a baby light is a baby. It's just a little thinner and more delicate. We use them a lot around the hairline, especially if there's flagella or baby hairs, broken hairs, and where you might have, where you need really soft highlighting. So we're weaving. Again, a weave technique, not a slicing. Can you guys see that? Also, these foils are not my favorite. I would prefer much longer, nicer foils, but we're gonna do the best we can with what we got. Put your other hand underneath to support, you see what I'm doing? To support that foil. You have total control over what you're doing. Flip it up nice and neat and secure it. And that's 2, okay? So then you're gonna come slice across, if you guys could see. Then I would take it and make a triangle here. Now again, this is all based on your own creativity and where you want this customer's highlights to land. So this whole quadrant, I'm gonna keep going up doing weaving. Weaving gives you a softer, less predominant highlighting. This is great for someone who has fine hair. I would never splice someone who has fine hair. This is great for someone who wants a natural look, if you want it to look like it's growing out of their head. I personally, again, this is my own personal choice, am a fan of weaving over slicing for most foil highlighting jobs, unless they distinctly want, which I don't know, you guys might be too young, in the 90s, everybody wanted those white and dark stripes. Do you guys remember that look that so many people wanted? It was like a craze. They wanted very predominant highlights and not a natural look. So that's our weaving. On this quadrant, guys, if you have any questions while I'm doing this, just ask me. On this quadrant, I'm gonna do what they call just a regular slice. Now, what do you think the difference is? What do you think a regular slice is? If a weave is a weave, a slice is straight across. Does that make sense? So we're gonna take a little bit of a bigger section, because this lady, well, make believe it's a different person now. She wants more predominant highlighting, okay? So much more bold. Or you can do this to save time if it's someone that you're gonna glaze out anyway and root smudge them. What does that mean? You're gonna put on a toner, a glaze, that's gonna blend in the area by the root, and it's not gonna matter if you take thick slices or not. So you see how you decide what kind of outcome you want. I'm gonna slice straight across. See that section like that? Do you guys see that? Same thing. Pull it down, tuck my foil in. Now, what happens if I mess up and the foil moves? Did you see what I just did? That happens. I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. You grab the hair, you stick the comb back in the foil, and you just re-stuff it under there. If anything oozed out, just get a clean towel and clean it. Don't ever freak out. Rule number 1, no freaking out. You can fix everything in hair color unless you burn their hair off their head. Then you can't fix it. But hair color can always be fixed. There's millions of tips, tools, tricks, and all kinds of stuff that I will teach you as we go along. Again, I'm going to take a section that's a little bigger here, if you could see that. And I'm going to slice, take this up here like this, and I'm going to slice straight across. Now, not too thick. It's still where you could have to be able to see through the section. But can you guys see that? Can you see how that looks? This is slicing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is slicing, highlighting. Now, some of my colleagues, I have one girlfriend, all she does is slice. And she does it really fast because she color melts her niche, which means like her expertise, all she does is slicing and color melting. Like that's what she's known for. And you could do that in business, in a salon. You could make yourself an expert at one thing. Like I'm known for highlighting, natural hair color, organic hair color, and great gray coverage. Because when people get older like myself, you need your gray done. So getting that gray covered and still looking good is super important. So once again, you really can create whatever you want for yourself. So we got weaving, more natural, slicing. Now we're gonna come up here. I'm gonna just leave this section out of the way. And I'm gonna make believe like she wants, now you don't have to do this on your mannequin. You can if you want to. You can pick any one technique and you can follow through. I'm also gonna do a quick demo here. Again, I know we did the balayage, but I'm gonna do another little section here just to go over. Now, the front section when I do a balayage, again, this is very creative. There's a million ways to do it. You saw one of my friends, Jamie Dana, she's famous now. She does all kinds of hair, she's got a YouTube channel. She's got her own creative way. Every single stylist and expert has their own way. You can take one thing from everyone or create your own. You know, take all these are basic foundational structures. I have a triangle. Because it's near her face, I'm gonna hold it really tight and pull it down. Now, this is not, I think I told you guys, but I'm gonna repeat myself. This is not what I would use to do a balayage in real life. I would use a clay lightener, which retains the moisture, does not crunch off, and continues to work till you get to the lightning level. It's much more creamy, it's luxurious, and it just works amazing. So we're gonna start feathering in here, painting in, going up towards the root. I'm going forward with the brush to feather in. I'm gonna make this heavier as I go down, make sure I'm covering that hair. And I should be wearing gloves. Once again, my bad habits. I just forgot to put them on. You have to wear them. And then I would paint this all the way down. Now, if I see that here it's too clumpy, I pull the hair tight, I get a clean brush, and I could go like this, and I could dry brush and melt that in. Always keep a dry brush for doing this. I guess I have to answer the phone, so hold on a second. Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Elaine. Bye. Bye. All right, so you always keep that dry brush when you're doing any kind of hair painting. I honestly keep it when I'm doing regular foiling, because sometimes if you get like something drips out or something, it's so much easier with your dry brush to just be like, and pick it out and see if you can clean it, than, you know, freaking out, having to wet their heads down and do stuff like that. All right, so if I was gonna continue to hair paint this lady, I'm gonna say I made one triangle this way, now I could do another triangle going the other way. All these different ways of sectioning just change your end result. They make it creative. Also, what I recommend is, again, this is professional advice, real salon advice, never do the same thing twice on a client. You want them to never be able to replicate what you did. If they can replicate what you did, then you're gonna lose them, right? Think about it. You wanna be unique, you wanna be the expert, you wanna stand out, and you want them to have to come back to you for your expertise. So here we go, I'm gonna be painting her again. Careful not to do too much up at the top, because I want a natural, a natural look. And cover that all down, okay? So that's just a little review of the balayage. Now, let's just say this client said to me, oh, you know, she wants really predominant highlights. The difference is, guys, you take big chunks. These big chunks are gonna be stripy. That's what you would do if someone asked you for big chunky highlights. Like I said, they're not in right now, but I hope they don't come back because I couldn't stand them. But again, they were in. If they wore their hair part in the middle, you would have to do big chunky highlights going down this way. Another really important thing is if you're doing baby lights around the hairline, you're gonna make sure, because there's nothing worse if, like, when I get my highlights done, I'm overdue, but I like to pull my hair back a lot. So I want those baby lights looking like they grow out of my scalp, right? If they're stripy, to me it looks tacky, but that's just my personal choice. So I'm gonna make sure I take this section and make it very fine. It's challenging with this lady's hairline. So you see how her hairline's messed up? You're gonna have to take that based on her hairline. And always remember, where is this hair gonna fall if this chick pulls her hair back, right? Super, super, super baby. Now, also keep in mind, guys, the baby lights, the thinner your section is, the faster it's gonna come up. So if you're have baby lights back here and then here, those pieces are gonna get blonder than the other pieces. And when we do the, which is called the money piece, you might want to put your toner on that front part last so it doesn't get as toned out and it stays brighter. Hold it really nice and tight. Hold that comb in your thumb. The trick to really working fast and doing great highlights is to be able to be multi-dexterous. Putting stuff down, putting your comb down, constantly doing that is not going to allow you the possibility of working quickly. It's just going to waste more time. Now that's just my own personal opinion. You can find your own groove as you go. Now, if this lady already had hair color on her hair, do you guys, what would I do different? Let's say she was coming in for a retouch. She doesn't have virgin hair. Let's just imagine that she was already light and her hair was all grown out and I needed to retouch her foils. What's the one thing I would do differently? What do you think? Any idea? Think about it, it's logical. She already has color on the bottom half of her head. She's been lightened, it's pretty light. What happens when we over-process hair? It what? Snaps off. So if this lady, now I'll take another piece and just show you another sample. If this woman came in and I was just doing a retouch on her foils, let's just say she had blonde up to here. She was really grown out after COVID, right? I would weave her out and I would only pull, now you have to imagine this because she's all blonde. So just imagine she's blonde up to here. I would only retouch where her hair is dark. In another bowl, I'd have a little bit of conditioner and I would take that conditioner and I would just go like this in between. That's called a blending agent. A leave-in conditioner, a light conditioner, and blend it in. This is platinum blonde. If I pull this lightener all the way down on that platinum blonde hair, it's two different animals. This platinum blonde hair is gonna singe because it's already like at a level 10. This is at a level 7, let's just say for argument's sake. Blend it in there. You can either pull it, leave it out like this, and then just cover what needs to be retouched. Guys, I can't tell you enough how many hairdressers, colorists destroy people's hair by pulling bleach over pre-lightened hair. Don't do it. Hair is fabric. Think of the most beautiful shirt you ever bought, or pants, or something that's really expensive. And if you took that silk blouse, I'm gonna use a silk blouse because it's just, okay, you took that silk blouse and you kept dipping it in a bucket of Clorox, half wet. After a few dips, the bottom of that shirt is gonna start to shred. You can't fix it then, it's done, it's vaporized. That is hair. Hair is fabric. Coarse curly hair is tougher, of course, than fine hair, thin hair, but it should all be respected and treated as fabric, okay? So I want you guys to basically pick one or two techniques or a little bit of everything, and I want you to experiment with how it feels to do the different techniques. Do some slicing, do some weaving, do some hair painting. Oops, there goes that. There's also another technique that I personally do a lot of, and it's used a lot in the salons too. It's called a foliage. Basically, it's just doing a balayage, but you're doing it inside of a foil. So I normally don't use these tail combs, but I can't, we don't have any more of those other ones. So I would take this hair, right? I would take big sections, weave them out like that. I'm gonna pull them into a point. Now this is one type of foliage, okay? I'm gonna put this here and I'm gonna start feathering in the same way I would have done it freehand. The difference is, and once again, I would have used a really long foil here. I don't think we have any.